we're going to discuss our family boundaries. But Daddy, we talked about it that time. Well, Paul could not speak for himself the last time we had the discussion. Now Paul can speak for himself. That becomes a reason for having that discussion again. And the grown-up children that could speak for themselves the last time you had that discussion would understand. Okay? And if they said no, I would tell him, no, Paul said no, I want to hear. Good. So you said everybody had it. And you revisit it again. So if you're saying your child, okay, flat out refuses to agree on any limits, from what time? It's not likely that a child with whom you had started agreeing on how things should be done or how things should not be done from a toddler age or stage will suddenly turn, well, in life, there are such individuals that, like I always say on this program, that would choose to turn left when everybody is turning right. That's a different story. Because such individuals, there's really nothing you do, nothing, but pray for them. Yeah, that would work. But I don't think that that's who this individual is. From what I understand from this contribution of this question is that this parent probably started the boundary setting thing late or started by handing down laws. We say discuss, discuss, discuss. Agree, agree, agree. Negotiate, even at that point of discussing. Negotiate. Don't say because you said this is okay, what do you suggest? What would you prefer? Okay, sorry, well, we grew up counting the number of cane strokes we'll get when we misbehave. So I'm going to talk from that perspective. Okay, so don't worry. For those of you listening to me, say, why would you be talking about caning children? Well, good luck, but no good luck. Okay, so you said, okay, if you do this, you are going to get 2 strokes of the cane. And the child said, oh, that's too much. What did I do now? Okay, what do you suggest? Even if he says half stroke, if there's anything like half stroke, he has agreed on the consequence. There's an agreement. And then it would have been arrived at mutually. That's the issue. It's not about the weight of the disciplinary measure. It's about that everybody buys into it. It's just a control mechanism to make family members behave themselves. You might not really need to use it at any point in time. Like we have shown in the course of even this program, the child understands I did this wrong. Okay, what should happen? I shouldn't do it again. Really? Okay, go. Okay, respect what you just said now. I won't do it again. You don't need to bring the cane. But then when it now becomes habitual, you now need to do something to correct the habit now. Okay, the reoccurrence of that. So, is there a point where you just decided, oh, there's no point, you decided earlier? Maybe that's what the child is revolting against. If you agreed, okay, even at that point, let's even say, because we say it's never too late to start. When you are starting late, still negotiate, still agree, okay? Don't go, I own this house. The child did not apply to be born into your family. Yourself and your wife, or yourself and your partner decided you needed to have a child. And you brought that child into your family, however. Okay? So it's not a case, we own this one. There's a funny story. There's a funny story someone told me once. He said, well, a father went, this home, I paid the bill, I I own this house. And the son said, okay, Daddy, I think you should come and go to your father's house. This is my father's house. It sounds funny, but the child is right. You own, okay, you own. You brought them into that family. So if there's anybody who should leave the home and go elsewhere, it's you. Go back to your own father's house. So for that not to happen, you need to agree on boundaries. Agree on what should happen should people, any family member, break those boundaries. And by extension, as your children begin to have relationship with other people, they would have learned the processes of, space, agreeing, negotiating, building confidence, about speaking out logically, intelligently, not talking for the sake of talking. Okay? Another commonly member here says, can giving too much choice to a child backfire and make them think they are in charge? Where is the balance? You've already answered your question. Can giving, you said too much choices. There are choices, and in your own words, there is too much choices. I said there are, and there are choices, and there is too much choices. Where did those choices grow from? I think it was last episode or the episode before the last one, we talked about needs and wants. What the choices you are giving the child, is it about what the child needs or what the child wants? The child needs accommodation, needs clothing, needs feeding, needs good health, needs good environment, needs good relationship with you, needs good education. But the child wants phone, iPhone 30, laptop, tablets, palm top, desktop. Those are, the child, he wants those, doesn't need them. I'm going to tell you a funny story. It's funny because, one of my granddaughters said he wants, she's in high school, by the way, so it's not, it's early teens now. He wants a laptop. I said to the parents, okay, fine, give her a consent letter, produce a consent letter saying you permit her to own a laptop and that you will supervise the use of the laptop. Guess who's protesting about the consent letter? It's not the child, it's the parents. So, when you say too much, inadvertently, we show our children how to revolt without knowing that that's what we're doing. Okay? So, too much choices. So don't give too much choices. You already know that's what you are doing. Reduce the choices and limit the choices to needs, not wants. If you're doing yourself a world of favor, you would also be doing the child a world of a favor. That's where the balance is. Because your follow-up question is, where is the balance? The balance is, you already know that there's too much in the mix. So remove the too much and limit the choices to needs, not wants. Okay. There's another question here from a committee member. It says, have you ever set a boundary as a parent that you later regretted? And how did you repair that with your child? Hmm, that's a tough one. Okay, because it's like a direct question. Have I? Have me? Have I? Okay, let me see. Let me think. Ah, I must have somewhere along the line. I must have, but I'm just trying to remember now which one. Because when the things backfire is when you not hear that, but daddy, you said I should not um touch it. And the child is sitting down there and something is happening to what you say you should not touch. But they say I should not touch it. Okay. And I think the one I directly comes to my mind now is that it's there are boundaries about devices, about personal devices, phones, tablets, laptops. You have no business with my phone or my laptop. So maybe I'm where the phone, I'm not where the phone is, and it's ringing. And in most cases, well, my phones are usually on like vibrate, and I might not hear it, and the child is there. And you come and you see, you find, I remember one particular time it was my mom that I do remember now. It was my mom that was calling, and that's a long time ago. And there were 8 missed calls. I won't name the child. I don't want to embarrass them. I don't want, I came down. I was upstairs. It was we were downstairs. We were watching a program on the TV, and when I got down and looked at 8 missed calls, Grandma, why didn't you call? But Daddy said we should not touch your phone. Of course, the child is right. So what I would add to this, you know, question or this contribution from this community member now is that this learn how to put caveats or to put exemptions to certain boundaries. Okay. They could bring you the phone without answering the call. Yeah, let's look at that. If my phone rings and I'm not where the phone is, you could bring the phone to me. That way, you won't be putting anybody in trouble. You won't be putting yourself on some undue regret. Oh, maybe it's a very important call and the person didn't call back and then is upset, whatever, business, whatever it is. Okay. Anytime my phone rings and I'm not there, please bring it to me wherever I am. Okay? That should help. I am trying to do, of course, how did I repair that? Because that's how did I repair that? Of course, that you said, okay, that's true. Sorry. You swallow the whatever other things you are going to say because the child is right. So the thing to do is apologize for that first outburst. Why were you sitting here? My phone is, but that you said we should not touch your phone. Okay? Sorry. That's true. Apologize and move on. Okay? I'm trying to do things differently from how I was raised, but I don't know what healthy boundaries even look like. What healthy boundaries may or might look like to you might not be what they look like to your partner, your husband, your wife, or your children. So the best way to know what healthy boundaries are is for all of everybody to contribute to them. I agree on that. Let it be what family members are comfortable with. Let it be what you all have agreed on, the boundaries themselves, the consequences, the rewards. Discuss them, agree on them. That makes them healthy because they are mutually set and instituted. Okay, so no one would feel, you know, done by when they get caught in the breakages of any of the items in the boundary. Because it might not even be, look, we have in the promo material that for this program, one of the flyers, the parents, two siblings, a young boy and a young girl, the girl beheld well, it's a device, a phone, whatever, and is probably saying to the boy, but this is not time to use this. And the parents are standing behind them, enjoying the scene, enjoying the discussion, because somebody has remembered what you have all agreed on and is one now preaching on your behalf. It's no longer your business, so you enjoy, you have peace. So when you have created ownership, when there is ownership of the boundaries you've created for your family, it's healthy. Okay? Nobody will feel injured, or nobody will feel not appreciated or left out or singled out for punishment or favored or disfavored. Okay? If you follow the rules that you have all agreed on. And well, we still have a few more, but before we continue, we're going to do what we normally do. We'll let you see a video, okay? We talk about things that it's not like reinventing the wheel, okay? But we also try to break things down to certain bits and pieces. Other people talk about the same things in similar ways and produce maybe some videos. So we look out for one or two videos that might show you what we are referring. So please stay tuned. Don't go away. Let's see the video.
3, 84, 85, 86, 87. Look at daddy. Look at daddy. Okay, yup, all done, all done. Look at daddy with your eyes, No throwing nuggets at Cat King. Say yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, no throwing nuggets. Every time you throw nuggets, daddy gonna make you do squats. Do you understand? Stop throwing nuggets. Yes? Say yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, give me a hug, mama. Give me a hug. I love you.
Mommy, what?
Right. Your legs hurt? Yeah.
You did 86 squats, mama.
80?
Welcome back. They're usually very short, the videos, okay? So what do you think about the video? It's explicit on itself, on its own, and once you make the effort and the habit of agreeing on things with your children, half of the job is done. You will find one of them becoming your spokesperson when the other ones don't maybe queue up to what you have agreed on. So it wouldn't be your point anymore. Anyway, one of a community member here said, does this mean I have to explain or justify every decision to my children? That justification and explanation happened at the beginning when you sat and agreed. Of course, there are other things that it's not possible for you to put everything about life in your family boundaries as you set them. Things happen. Your work, your career, so many things, other things will happen. There are things you will take decision that you will be, but if you remember, the important thing about the boundary issue is that you've already built a communication platform. You're already in a communication relationship with your children. So those other things also that happen that would affect them, that would impact on one area or the other of their lives, you then need to call another conference. Yes. Okay. You then need to say, guys, we need to, there's something that I need to ask you, about, or I need to bring to your notice. You are changing your career. Change your career would affect them one way or the other. So explain it. Explain your reason. They are your children. Remember, it's not just that you're telling them what to do. You're also telling them, showing them how to relate with others eventually. Okay?